I can barely contain my excitement right now. I am leaving Singapore in just about 15 to 20 minutes, heading to the airport to meet up with my sister in Bangkok. We're gonna have 2 weeks together in Thailand, and I am like literally ecstatic inside of me. I'm like jumping out of my own skin. Singapore is really cool. I had a good time. The city reminds me a lot of San Francisco in different ways. Obviously, the weather is like very different. It's a lot warmer here. It's like consistently 12 months. Of the year, it's like 80 to 90 degrees, which kind of reminds me of San Francisco in that regard, because San Francisco, for 12 months of the year is consistently like 65 degrees. It's a really small city. You can see it all in a matter of a day if you wanted to. Most people, when they come to Singapore, are actually doing a layover to like Bali or Malaysia. And my voice is like really shaky and I don't know why, but I haven't even had coffee yet. But I actually ended up having 5 nights here, 4 full days. My luggage was lost, like I mentioned to you in the very beginning, so it kind of started out a little bit like rougher than I had expected. But I had a really good time. I did a bike tour, which was a really good way to see like the entire city, and then also just learn about the history of the city as well. It's fun learning about the history of all of these different Asian countries. They all are rich with history, and it's interesting to learn like all of the different countries that used to like own them, and what have you. The Marina Bay Sands Hotel, it's like their most famous landmark. It's that big 3-towered hotel with the boat. That only took 3 years to build, which is just wild. Things in the US can take forever to be built. And then additionally, it makes $3 to $4 billion a year. It took $5.5 billion to be made, and they made all that money back in a matter of 2 years. And they built it during the recession too. So they said it was really hard to find investors that wanted to stay invested, but now all the people that pulled out are kicking themselves in the ass. Other things in Singapore that are really awesome is just the service. The service level here is exceptional. Everyone takes their job really seriously. They try to get to know you. There is a service tax on top of all of their like traditional, prices of food and drink. So I think that encourages, the service to be good. And then you don't tip or anything like that. And then the food is great. They call themselves like a circular country, meaning that there's not like one cuisine they're really tied to. There is like a history of cuisine in Singapore, but they do everything really good. So there's like really good actually Mexican food. I had tacos. It reminded me of a place back home called Tacolicious. And they do Italian food, they do Indian food, you name it. So they have a variety of options, which is really nice as well. Their hawker markets or hawker fairs are also an area that they're kind of like known for or famous for. Some of them were closed this week because of Chinese New Year, but I got to go to 2 of them, and the food's really good. It's the only way you can eat in Singapore for less than like $10. Otherwise, everything's really expensive. Another interesting fact about Singapore, going back to them being like a circular country, is when they started rebuilding or building up, when I think Britain was, I don't know what the right like historical term is, but like when Britain like was overseeing the country, they didn't want to tie the country to like any specific religion, which was actually like super forward thinking for their time. And so they were one of the first countries to actually have religious landmarks and buildings actually within certain like miles or kilometers of each other. And it's still the same here today. Like they're not a Catholic country. They're not all Christian. There's Muslim and Hindu and all kinds of things. So I found that really interesting as well. But checking out now, wanted to just really quickly catch up with you. And I know it's cold back home in San Francisco and it's so warm here. I'm literally like down to like very, very little amount of wardrobe because I don't have a lot of clothes. Remy's bringing me shorts and a dress. But I miss everyone so much and I can't wait to hang out with my sister. All right, bye.